Oh no, they really in talks right now with Tank for us to fight Tank. We've been his mandatory for a year. Of course, I'm putting a little heat under it because by WBA bylaws, in 9 months after we became that, we were supposed to get a title shot. It's been a year and a half. So it gets to a point like, some people say, well, your son might lose. But my son want to live out his dream. He gave up his childhood. He did all of this to grind to this point. Now in the politics of boxing, it said, nah, we're going to go this way, and it's not right. So we're more like standing up for all the boxers that make it to #1. But I already said he's going to knock Tank out. It's a reason these guys don't want to get in the ring with him. And I know the fans, the new ones here, that's just because they don't know who he is. Like, from 17, he was getting them ready for their title fights. He was their sparring partner, and they couldn't do nothing with him. It wasn't like it was close with him and them. So that's what I'm saying. The new fans is just getting to know who he is. But the ones he's been in the ring with, they getting out of the way. And I've been saying that 3 years ago.
I always thought he wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So that's just still how I feel. Like, you know what I mean?
I respect it. What do you think he lacks in though? Like, what makes him not good?
I just feel like first of all, like, I go off mentalities when I go off a mentality. You know what I mean? He don't have that.
That dog.
He don't have that. And I know Devin since amateurs. The motherfuckers are having MCM bags before I even knew what the fuck MCM was. That nigga always had it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So he don't got that hunk. Like, he just want to be the greatest, but he don't come from the trenches. Like, you know what I mean?
Lomachenko is indeed ending his retirement. He's going to come back in the fall of this year, and he's targeting only big names. He does not want to fight any tune-ups, and that's no surprise, right? For a guy like Lomachenko, he fought for a title.
Brian Norman. See what I'm saying?
This is a guy that fought for a title in his second pro fight, who beat Gary Russell Jr., destroyed him in his third fight. And I'm told one of the names he's looking at is Emmanuel Navarrete, who's on our pound-for-pound list, who has a title at 130. So, and after that, I heard Loma could be looking at Gervonta Davis.
Oh, come on, man.
That was a fight that he was in talks to do in 2024.
The WBA has ordered Gervonta Davis to face Kid Austin next as his mandatory challenger, while Lomachenko returns and makes it clear his target is Tank Davis. According to Floyd Schofield Sr., Tank Davis now has very limited time to finalize a deal, with a June 22nd deadline set, or he risks vacating his title entirely.
Yeah, he got to June 22nd to either take the fight or vacate the belt. And that took a lot of lawyer money and hours to make that happen. And so if they don't make the fight by the 22nd, then it go into purse bid. So it go over the promoter's head. So I eliminated the politics out of it, where we in line for the belt. So he got 30 days to send a contract and make the deal, or it goes into purse bid.
No more wasting time for Tank dancing with snow bunnies. Kid Austin says there is no more delay, insisting he is coming to take all the belts in a fight where he has nothing to lose and everything to gain.
I think I'm banking on he thinks that it's going to be an easy fight, just some money to put in his pocket.
Right.
Because for me to earn this belt, I mean, you earn the belt how you earn the belt. You still become a champion. But I would like to take it from the so-called boogeyman of boxing, because I feel like that would make the victory and having that belt much sweeter. I think, of course, Lucas Body's a good fighter. He had a great knockout. But I just don't think, people would go in there and they would expect me to win that fight.
Right.
Expecting me to win this fight. So I'm going in there, I got nothing to lose. I mean, I got nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Making their intentions clear, Floyd Sr. and Jr. insist they are chasing legacy fights against Tank, Shakur, and Devin Haney before retirement as the torch gets passed on.
The thing is, I want people to know it's Tank. We want to fight Tank. So upon a deadline, Tank gonna retire soon. That's why we calling Tank out. You could go to Mason, all this other stuff, but Tank gonna retire soon. You never have another Tank in boxing. So just to have that on your record, that legacy fight, win, lose, or draw, is on your record when this greatness leave. Because he's gonna leave. His heart not in boxing. So that's what it's about, fighting him, the Shakur, the Devin, all the 4 horsemen to get that torch passed to you. That's how it used to be.
While Kid claims he can knock out Tank, newly leaked sparring footage suggests Tank is still sharp, dangerous, and operating at the peak of his arsenal. As As negotiations for Tank's next fight continue, Oscar De La Hoya steps in and makes his stance clear, insisting that a fight with Kid Austin is the most important option right now. He believes this matchup should take priority over any other big name being discussed at the moment. De La Hoya also goes further, suggesting that Kid Austin has the tools to shock the world and potentially take the crown and all belts from Tank Davis if the fight happens.
Schofield ready for Tank? Oh man, that's the fight. That's the fight. You know, Schofield is the next young kid, up and coming. He's hungry. He's got balls. He's got balls. So I think the fact that Tank has been off for a while is the perfect opportunity for Schofield to take the reign, you know, to take the crown from Tank. So I would love to see that. I would love to see that.
Make it happen, make it happen, make it happen.
Oh man.
At the same time, Lomachenko has been reported by Mike Coppinger to be returning from retirement to chase big names, with Gervonta Davis seen as one of the main targets. His coach, Kenny Ellis, questions whether Lomachenko still has the same hunger to face a dangerous opponent like Tank. Ellis suggests Tank would likely be the last choice because of the risk involved, saying all top lightweights can punch hard, so it comes down to who he is willing to risk getting knocked out by.
He didn't have that motivation, Lomachenko. Now, him coming back, do you feel like he got that same motivation to fight Gervonta Davis?
No.
No.
I think Tank will be the last one he picked.
How come, Coach? Tell me.
Come on, man.
The most dangerous one.
The most dangerous one. He's gonna take the, I ain't gonna say the easy route, but the less punishment. You know what I mean? He's gonna go that way. Dude, but all them guys right now, shit, they can crack. All of them. So it's just up to him which one he might get KO'd by, you know?
Ellis also reacts to the idea of Lomachenko possibly choosing Tank for a big payday. He admits it would not be surprising since it is the biggest money fight available, but questions if it is really about legacy or just business. With Lomachenko avoiding a tune-up after years away, Ellis warns jumping straight into a Tank Davis fight is extremely risky. At his age, he believes one mistake could cost everything, including the chance at that payday.
Would it surprise you if he chose Tank out of all the lightweights?
No, that's the biggest payday.
Right, that's what I was gonna say.
It would surprise him. But do he really want it? Do he want the fight, or do he want it for the money?
Now, not having a tune-up for 2 years and going straight into a Tank Davis fight, you tell me, should he be using a tune-up? Should he be having a tune-up coming right in? Because at the end of the day, they stated that he wants no tune-ups. He wants big fights only, Loma.
At that age, if it was me, I wouldn't take no tune-up.
Looking at the bigger picture, Ellis says many fans would call the timing of this fight either too late or perfectly timed depending on the outcome. If Lomachenko succeeds, critics will praise the comeback, but if he loses, they will say he is washed up. Ellis reminds that Lomachenko always fights back from adversity, but against someone like Tank, any knockdown could be hard to recover from, making the outcome heavily dependent on who he faces in the ring.
Because the tune-up is too risky at that age, fighting against a young dog or anybody. So I would just go ahead and get the payday. But take a tune-up and get beat, then there goes the payday, you know?
There goes the payday. Do you feel like people would say this fight is too late or at the perfect time? What would you say?
A lot of people would say it's too late.
Yeah.
But if Loma was to come back and be successful, them same people, yeah, I told you. But if he's unsuccessful, oh, he be the old Lomachenko. Boxing crazy, man.
Following the news of Lomachenko calling out Tank, Kid Austin quickly responds with confidence, making it clear he is not stepping aside for anyone. He acknowledges Lomachenko's status as a legend, but insists he is the true #1 contender for the fight with Tank. He pushes the idea that their matchup should happen first before any other big names enter the picture, while also mentioning ongoing plans and staying ready in the gym, fully focused on securing his shot.
What's up, everybody? It's Kid Austin. I'm looking a little rough right now because y'all know I'm in the gym 24/7. Anyway, I seen the news about Lomachenko wanting to fight Tank. My humble opinion, I know Lomachenko's a legend, but I'm the #1 contender to fight Tank. So either you got to wait on the back burner or let's get the fight going. But anyway, we still waiting to see what Tank doing. And then I think we're lining that Lucas Body fight up, hopefully, because y'all know I want to get him up out the way. But like I said, Lomachenko's but I'm the #1 contender. And me and Tank got to run it first before he go anywhere.
As things become clearer from Lomachenko's side and his clear desire to face Tank, the narrative about him ducking the fight is now fading away. Sean Porter explains that Lomachenko never ducked Tank, emphasizing his long career, over 300 amateur fights, and experience across 2 Olympic cycles. He highlights how different it is to stay active at that elite level, comparing it to short bursts of championship success. Porter believes Lomachenko earned his reputation through years of consistency and discipline, and says his legacy was already built long before the Tank conversation ever started, making any ducking claims unfair and misleading.
He's a 36-year-old man, the extensive 300+ amateur fights, 2 Olympic Games, Pan American Games. Y'all don't know how much it takes to do that. Legend. And the difference between having one great night winning the world championship title and having a great run, winning 2 gold medals, means you did 4 or 5 fights in 2 weeks span, week and a half span.
He continues by pointing out that Lomachenko was already a global name when he was dominating and selling out arenas in America, while others were still rising. Porter stresses that timing in boxing changes everything, and just because the fight did not happen earlier does not mean avoidance. In his view, Lomachenko simply reached his peak phase and moved on naturally, not as a duck, but as a fighter finishing his own journey at the top.
You know what I mean? So he was great in his own right. When he was at the top, coming over from the Ukraine, selling out in America,
pound for pound,
you was nowhere to be found. Now you are here, but he's just not. And don't look at it as being a duck. It's definitely not a duck. The dude was already in his ship. Just decided to get out just to see what it looked like.
Stepping into the conversation, Robert Garcia shares his thoughts on a potential Tank Davis versus Lomachenko clash, saying the negotiations are starting to heat up. He admits he has always been a fan of Lomachenko and respects his skill and style, but believes Tank's youth and physical strength could be the deciding factor at this stage. Garcia adds that a few years ago he would have confidently picked Lomachenko, but now he leans toward Tank while still not ruling out an upset from the Ukrainian veteran.
135 is hot. Gervonta Davis versus Lomachenko looks like it's heating up in negotiations. What do you think about Gervonta versus Lomachenko?
I love Lomachenko. I think, you know, at this point, I think Tank's just too strong because he's a lot younger. Maybe Loma, we've probably seen the best out of him, but I love Loma. You know, 5 years ago, I would pick Loma easy.
So you're going with Tank?
I think I'll go with Tank. Yeah. But I still wouldn't be surprised because I love Loma. I love his style. He's one of my favorite fighters. I would love to see him pull it off too.
Cool. Appreciate that, Robert. Yeah, thank you, Robert. Like always, appreciate it.
Adding on, Andre Ward explains that Gervonta Davis rarely speaks about becoming the greatest of all time, instead focusing more on beating whoever is in front of him. He points out that the mindset seems shaped by the influence of Floyd Mayweather, where building a brand, selling tickets, and becoming a pay-per-view star also counts as a form of legacy. Ward suggests that for Tank's success is not only about in-ring achievements, but also about financial security and global recognition.
I don't remember the last time that I've heard Gervonta Davis say, I'm in boxing to be the greatest fighter of all time. I've heard him say that he's better than certain guys in his weight class, or this kid can't beat me. I've heard that. I can't remember, and maybe y'all can keep me honest online, the last time I've heard Gervonta Davis talk about his legacy in the ring. Like I'm building my legacy. I'm trying to outdo Floyd in legacy. Like, I think it started like that for him. But the influence of Floyd Mayweather, Money Man, not Pretty Boy, but the Money Man, and building your brand and selling tickets and selling pay-per-views and becoming a household name, that's also a legacy. You got the legacy in the ring and you got the legacy in terms of how you sold.
Ward continues by saying Tank appears more focused on making money and securing his future than chasing traditional greatness. He notes that if a fighter openly says he has nothing left to prove, then fans cannot hold him to the standard of chasing every top opponent. Ward questions whether it is fair to criticize Tank for not fighting everyone if his personal goal is to retire on his own terms and prioritize safety and financial success.
I believe Gervonta Davis is more focused on selling tickets and making money and securing his future for himself and his family. He said it out of his own mouth. I ain't got nothing else to prove. If you're trying to be one of the greatest fighters of all time, it's still a whole lot to prove. My point is, Roy, is I don't think, should everybody hold this man to the standard that they hold him to and say, you not fighting nobody, yeah, you making money, but you ain't really fought nobody. If he don't even care about that, that's not even something that he's really focused on. If his main focus is the money, and his main focus is getting out of boxing without getting hurt and retiring on his own terms, shouldn't his fan base and other people get on board with that if that's not even his goal?
While the boxing world continues to praise Tank, Keyshawn Davis takes a different stance, making it clear he is not fully convinced. He describes Tank's skill set as only average at best, not enough to place him among the true elite. Davis also questions his resume, arguing there are not enough standout performances to justify the level of hype. In his view, Tank still has work to do before being considered one of the most complete fighters in the sport.
That's one thing. His mentality is just not on what I'm on. You know what I mean? And then as far as like his skills, I feel like he is like one notch under great. He does everything good. He don't have nothing great in his arsenal. Everything is just, okay, that's good, that's good, that's good, that's good, which makes him a good fighter. But he just not fucking with the elites of the elites.
I don't know how to feel about it because I haven't seen respectfully to Devin, you know what I'm saying, but I haven't seen spectacular fights.
Keyshawn Davis, who has already been critical of Tank's mentality, insists that fighters like Tank and Teofimo are not avoiding him, but instead choosing fights that bring money rather than legacy. He argues the focus has shifted away from true competition. Davis suggests Tank should face Teofimo Lopez instead of Kid Austin, saying it makes far more sense for the sport. He adds that accepting such a fight would help fix today's boxing culture, where real challenges are often ignored.
As far as like, I'm not gonna say Conor Ben or Tank is ducking,
right?
But these niggas are at a certain level to where they can put another nigga in the ring with them, and it probably can potentially, like, he could fight a Teofimo,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That potentially probably could make more money for them. You know what I'm saying? He's not just gonna be like, yo, let me fight Keyshawn.
I don't know. I get it. You said more money for them, but not more money for a fight. I think, maybe Gervonta gets more of the purse and more money out of the actual event if he fights Teofimo. But if he fights you, bro, the culture is going to stop.
Yeah, it's gonna snap.
The culture is going to stop.
As the boxing world grows excited about what comes next for Tank and whether he can still perform at his best, Keyshawn Davis believes the layoff will definitely affect him. He argues that no matter who he faces next, whether it is Kid Austin under the 30-day deadline or Lomachenko after a tune-up fight, inactivity could work against him. In his view, the long breaks between fights may no longer give Tank the same sharp edge they once did.
It's Tank, so I knew it was gonna be hard for him to get a decision. You know what I mean? The second part was, his layoff.
His layoff, yeah.
Definitely is gonna, his layoff is definitely gonna be effective, for sure. It's not like Tank is 25, 26, 27 anymore. He's a little older now. I think he's like 30.
Yeah, I think he just hit 30.
You know what I mean? So he been doing it for a very long time. So certain people is not gonna see the rust in his game because he's still gonna be sharp. You know what I mean? Like, comparison to my last fight, I was rusty, but I was still sharp. So
you were rusty in that fight?
With all these names circling and every fighter calling for their shot, the pressure on Tank is only getting heavier. From deadlines to comeback stories, the next move could define everything. Now the question is simple: who steps up and who backs down when the contract finally hits the table? If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned, because this boxing story is only getting started.